Yeah. Yes. Good evening to you all, fellow Nigerians. I want to salute everyone at this moment, and I want to especially thank everyone who's joining me at this time. And my name is Comrade Lamte Oreahi, and I am making this broadcast for the Comrade Show. And I have been, please, if you are joining me, help share this broadcast. Let the broadcast go round, because they say a common problem called for a common concern. And right now, as we speak, we have a common problem as Nigerians. And that is the need for us to show common concern, as it were. Please share the broadcast, let it go around. We're going to talk about SARS at this minute. And of course, I'm going to talk about the Nigerian embassy in Spain because of the complaint that came up from the embassy in Spain. And by extension, I'll be talking about on Nigerian embassies, across the world because of issues that appear to be coming up. But first, we are starting with SARS. I'm starting on a very sad note. On a sad note, because since the last couple of days, I've been keeping a very close eye on the situation of things in Nigeria. And today, I am heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because this process as we speak, the End SARS movement as we speak, is costing the life of Nigerians. And we've got a number of Nigerians right now who have, whether either as policemen or as protesters, who are losing their lives. Some are being maimed. A lot of things going on, as it were. And of course, the leaders of the country, they are there, even doing all sort of things to try to, create confusion amongst, the protesters and all of that. But first, I want to salute the courage of every Nigerian on the ground protesting that right now. I want to salute the courage of every Nigerian. Every Nigerian right now in protest is a hero. Every one of them is a hero, and I salute their courage. And I want to equally salute the courage and the tenacity of Nigerians in the diaspora, that have made efforts to protest all across. We've had protests in London and in some other parts of the world, in Holland. I want to salute you guys. You guys are the real heroes of this process. The truth is this. People are mistaking this movement, for different things. But this movement, like in so many other revolutions that we've read about, some in the recent past, is starting from End SARS. As a matter of fact, this process is not just about SARS. Neither is it just about the reform that the Nigerian police force desperately deserve. It's about, all that has been happening in Nigeria. It's about the disrespect Nigerians are getting from their leaders. It's about how the Nigerian leadership appear, to consistently subjugate the Nigerian people. It's about how the president of Nigeria will come out on October 1st and announce to the world that it does not make sense for fear to be cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia. It's about Nigerians who are dying every day in the hands of Boko Haram, and yet the Nigerian government seems to care less. It's about, the cost of living right now in Nigeria. It's about, a bag of rice being 8,000 naira barely 6 years ago and now running, around 30,000 naira and all of that. It's about the minimum wage still being 30,000 naira, and yet they have the effrontery to increase fear and begin to justify it. It's about all of this and more. It's about insecurity in the country. It's about the failure of this administration. It's about all of these too many things. It is not just about NSAS. The NSAS matter is spilling over. And Nigerians are waking up because they know that we have wallowed too much in this mess and we can no longer take it. Nigerians can no longer take it. That is why it's unfortunate that, very many people in the diaspora right now, they cannot be home. It's unfortunate, but we are giving our support in whatever way, shape, or form. Now, there are different strands of this exercise I'd like to talk about. I came out because I see a need to appeal to the protesters on the ground. We cannot be disunited in this protest. We cannot fight ourselves in this protest. We cannot hijack this protest by our individualistic concerns. We cannot hijack this protest by our individualistic, goals. We must make the protest remain a national protest. This protest, as it were, is a protest right now that is shapeless. This protest must be coordinated. We must not forget the reason for this protest. We must not forget because we are all in this together. All of us. It does not matter whether you are a policeman, whether you are a doctor, whether you are this. We have a common enemy, and the common enemy is the leadership structure of Nigeria. Nigeria needs restructuring. Not just, a restructuring by the way of the structure of Nigeria, restructuring of the mind of the politicians, restructuring of the mind of the leadership of the Nigerians, restructuring in every aspect. Right now, the budget of Nigeria, next year's budget, has been released. You look at it, you are ashamed of yourself because of all that is embedded in the budget. The debt profile of Nigeria right now is so deep that when you look at it, you are somebody who is conversant. You look at Nigeria debt profile today, you weep. You weep because you do, by the level of the debt profile we have, you do not see how we are going to escape this as a people. A debt profile that this generation and 5 generations after cannot even sort out. And to what end? At the expense of every Nigerian. At the expense of every Nigerian. Nigeria today is the only country in the world that has no clearly defined foreign policy. There is none. We are just there. We are just there. And we have a leadership that is so inept. A leadership that comes out like pretend not to know what is happening. A leadership that has a very nepotistic agenda. A leadership that is not really interested in whether Nigerians die. This is the only country, Nigeria is the only country in the world that we can see around where things happen, people die, Nigerians die. No commission of inquiry is set up. It is business as usual. There is no enabling laws, made out of any situation to try to correct that situation going forward. There is none. There is none. In the midst of COVID-19, where people were dying or are dying as it were, in the midst of COVID-19, where palliatives are greatly needed, in the midst of COVID-19, where we are suffering high cost of living, senators were buying multi-million cars. National Assembly members were buying multi-million cars. A very insensitive leadership. This protest is about that. It's about that. That if you don't have a reason, you have no contribution to contribute to national leadership, there is no need contesting any election. But today, our elections in Nigeria is the only agenda is to come and amass words. To the extent that when you tell people that you are running for a public office, a political office, what people start asking you is that how much contract are you going to give me? How am I going to benefit from this thing? People are not talking about the service you should render. This is all that is about. And SARS is just an immediate cause of the protest. The protest is actually having it's having so many remote causes that are leading to it right now. So, and it's a slap on the face of Nigerians to protest that we want SARS to end. And the IG comes out and announces that he's disbanding SARS. And less than 72 hours, he's coming up to say that he's setting up SWAT. What a way to disregard people. What a way to undermine people. What a way to insult people. What a way. When Nigerians are protesting and saying, man, the entire police structure needs reform. The entire police structure needs to be looked into. The entire police structure needs to be reorganized, reorientated. Because at the end of the day, the inhumanity that the police, the police structure faces from the Nigerian leadership is so that it's extending to the inhumanity that these policemen met out on Nigerians. This protest is a lot more than EndSARS. There are Nigerians today, as we speak, they are just out there. There is no food to eat. Neither do they have hope of food, for the later part of this day. There are Nigerians out there who need serious medical attention, but they cannot afford it. And the system is not making any provision for that to be affordable. There are Nigerians out there today who are suffering one form of insecurity, wahala, and the other, and yet nobody's addressing that. The territorial integrity of Nigeria has been ceded partly to Boko Haram. We can no longer boast of Nigeria in its entirety as a nation with territorial integrity is intact. Part of the territorial integrity of the country is ceded to Boko Haram. We cannot go there. Boko Haram cannot go there. And yet we boast of a military. And yet budget upon budget is being budgeted on military equipment. It's being budgeted on the service of military men. And yet the same problem persists. This is what this whole EndSARS crisis is about. So Buhari should not just sit there and all these governors that we see, and they think that they can just come out and make some hollow speeches and pass through the background to even instigate some people to hijack the protests. If you are there in Nigeria, there is a goal, there's a reason why this is happening at this time. It is sorrowful, it is painful that as we speak, we can count not less than 13 persons who have died in this process. These people who have died in this process, they remain heroes of the protest. But for those of you who are being used by politicians to try to break down the protests, you will meet your own end in a very bad way. Because there are people right now who are trying to benefit from this protest. Because this is what Nigerians know how to do best. But this narrative has to change. It is the whole essence. This is the whole essence. People right now are already negotiating with politicians to form leadership for the protest, to collect monies so that they can break down the protest. There's a message that Nigerians want to pass with this protest. All we are saying is that the leadership structure today, the leadership of the Nigerian state today is not serving the interests of Nigerians. It's not. The leadership of the Nigerian state today that we have, as we have it, is such that it's subjugating the collective will of the Nigerian people, the collective interest of Nigerian people. That is what this is about. And they must understand. The Edo man says, people go to see Buhari on a daily basis. They are unable to tell him the real situation of Nigeria. That is the reason why Fashola will come out and say no roads in Nigeria are bad, that the roads in Nigeria are fairly okay. Where are they okay? Where are they okay? Where right from Lokoja Road leading to the northern part of Nigeria, you will stay hours on end. It's not motorable. And Mechi will come out and say they want to build railway system from Nigeria to Niger Republic, where we don't even have roads that are motorable in Nigeria. What kind of a nation are we? And yet we see people who are making effort, youth like ourselves, making effort to break and decentralize, create fragments of this whole process. I feel sorry, I feel sad for Nigerians that have lost their souls in this process. It's sad. It's sad because the goal of this process from the very beginning was not for Nigerians to die. The goal of this process was to passively resist the oppressors that are amongst us, the oppressors that we empowered to oppress us. Nigerians are not saying no. No. Every policy of this government needs to be revisited. Policy on agriculture, policy on health, policy on transport and infrastructures, policy on employment. All policies need to be revisited. As a matter of fact, the 30,000 naira minimum wage that we were even talking about some months ago is an insult on the integrity of Nigerians based on the way things are today. Before this government came on board, a bag of rice was barely 8,000 to 9,000 naira. Today, a bag of rice is selling for around 30,000 naira. This protest is about that. It's about the hunger in the land. If Buhari is not hearing, please share the broadcast. He needs to hear. All the sacrifice around him, they need to hear. All those governors going to praise Buhari in his face, they need to hear. They need to hear that Nigerians are dying. This is potentially the richest nation in this world, and yet it is the poverty capital of the world. How can we wear that emblem? How can we? Just because some sacrifice have taken over power and they think that this matter is their birthright and they will lead Nigerians the way they feel. It is time for Nigerians all over the world. This crack has come. The crack of NSAS has come. We cannot retreat. We cannot retreat until we start seeing visible changes. As a matter of fact, we cannot retreat. We should not retreat. We must not retreat. Despite the fact that some of us cannot be in Nigeria at this time, there's a lot that we can do. There's somebody out there in this protest. There's a group out there in this protest that we can support in whatever way, shape, or form to keep this momentum on. All we are saying, there should be no violence, but let there be passive resistance to all of these people. I am glad that those in Alausa, those in Lagos, for what you are doing, may God bless you all. May God bless you guys in Lagos for what you are doing. You guys in Abuja, may God bless you all. But please, please do not break this protest. Don't create fragment of it. Let it remain a force. Because right now the world is listening. The attention of the world right now is drawn to Nigeria. So we must keep the fire burning. We must keep it burning. We must keep it burning. Passively resist every oppressor. For once, let Nigeria be ungovernable. Let it be ungovernable. For once. For once. Because Nigerians are the happiest people in the world. We have endured too much of oppression. We have endured. You who lives in diaspora and you think this matter does not concern you, it concerns you as much as it does everybody at home. It concerns you as much as it does everybody at home. And so you must find your own space within the space where you are going to be relevant in this protest. Because there are people out there who need your support for this matter to keep on going until we start seeing that structural change that we desire in Nigeria. The entire structure needs to be restructured. We need to have that discourse. We need to have that discourse. Over the course of the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we have seen huge clamor from the eastern part of Nigeria. Now we are beginning to see clamor from the western part of Nigeria. Nigeria is already edging towards secession. If Nigeria must hold, it is time for us to have that discourse. It is time for us to have that discourse. Let us begin to define the kind of federalism we need to operate. Nigeria is the only country in the world that is a federal state and yet does not have a regional police. We cannot be a federal state and not be a federal state. You cannot, Buhari, spend billions that was not appropriated by the National Assembly to draw a petroleum, a pipeline all the way from the southern part of Nigeria and take it to the northern part of Nigeria. For what? For what? For what? Buhari, you will go and take loan from China, from everywhere. You put Nigeria in debt. And these loans, most of them are not, they are not bills that came through the National Assembly. For what? What kind of a country are we, people? What kind of a nation are we? What kind of monsters have we built in leadership at the federal, state, and local government level? What? A president will do and undo. And we have a lame duck National Assembly. A lame duck National Assembly. Anytime the president comes with whatever proposal, fear. And that is part of the dangers of having people like Oshomole become relevant in state affairs. Many years ago, this same country, Nigeria, broke diplomatic relations with Israel because they came to test an atomic weapon on the soil of Africa. When Nigeria had foreign policy, when Nigeria was relevant to the scheme of things in the affairs of nations, when Nigeria will speak, the world will listen. I remember the first and the only prime minister we ever had, his official visit to America. The way he was received, like a king from Africa. The world stood still to welcome him to the United States of America. But today, the Nigerian president will go to America, nobody knows he's even around. He will go to Germany, nobody knows. In fact, the last time he went to Germany, in fact, it was a shame that the president of a nation called Nigeria is arriving another man's land. And yet nobody came to wait for him, apart from the embassy staff. That is how debased they have made our country. But why will it not be so? When David Cameron, in a leaked tape, told the Queen of England that Nigerians are fantastically corrupt, where you're supposed to get response from a president to say no, Nigerians are not corrupt. Nigerians are very dignified people. Nigerians are the most hardworking people in this world. And Nigerian president was asked to make a comment concerning that, and he said yes, Cameron was right. That Nigerians are fantastically corrupt. It is only in Nigeria, and yet there was no backlash. There was no backlash. The man fails to understand that every statement made by your own president elevates you in the diaspora or demoralizes you. He failed to understand that every nation in this world, they hold their head high up there, protect their interests, but go back home and start dealing with the issues they have. As far as some of us are concerned, I say it without fear or favor that President Muhammadu Buhari actually has no business being the president of Nigeria. He never had, he doesn't have, he will never have. And if this protest, if he's a man who is wise, like some other nations do, I think that it is time for President Muhammadu Buhari to resign now. President Muhammadu Buhari, it is time for him to resign now and let Nigeria be led by people who at least have some capacity to lead Nigeria. Because what's it called? The Independence Anniversary Day broadcast by this president is a huge slap on the face of Nigerians. It's a huge indictment. It's a huge reason why Nigerians should even rise to say, no, we don't want you to continue. Not even for a day. So if you are there, you are protesting, you do not know the reason, what this protest is about, you need to revisit yourself. You need to sit down and ponder. For those of you who are being led now from the backyard to try to break and fragmentize this protest, get your head re-examined. We fight now and let us survive tomorrow. We fight now and let us uphold our integrity as a nation tomorrow. We fight now and let us revive what ought to be a semblance of democracy. But what we have right now is tyrannical. What we have right now is oppressive. What we have right now is outright subjugation. Nigerians are no longer smiling. I saw a video the other day. I saw a video. I wept in my heart. I ask myself how many families are going through this even at this moment. I saw the video online. I wept, but I was helpless. Everybody will be helpless. A family flood took over their entire compound. They had no means of cooking, but they had to elevate a structure on top of flood and started cooking on that small structure. While another little child was pounding right in the middle of flood. That must have been seen by one of these leaders, either governor, commissioner, whatever. But nobody has made any effort now to ask, where is this happening? What can we do to help our people? If governors cannot be about Nigeria, then we need to revisit why we are together as a people. If the governors of Nigeria cannot be about providing enabling environment for Nigerians to thrive and live, to have a dignified life, then we need to revisit the entire structure, as it were. So for those who are calling for restructuring, believe me, they are not crazy. So the president, you cannot come out and say you have impervious ear to the cry of restructuring. Because the protest you see today is about the restructuring that you have impervious ear towards. I honestly, I wish I would be on ground at this time. Honestly. But I salute, I know some of you are listening to me right now. I salute your courage in Abuja. I salute your courage in Lagos. I salute your courage in Benin. We must keep this flame burning. We must keep it burning. Nigeria needs to change. We cannot fold our arms as we often had done anymore. There are men, there are women that have become, emblem of this movement. I salute you all. But please, this is a national protest. Let nobody hijack the protest for any selfish agenda. For those of you who are going about scheming to collect money from politicians so that you can break this protest into fragments and of course chase the purpose out of the people, don't worry. Time will catch up with you. Because they say, there is no army that can stop any idea which time has come. The awareness of Nigerians right now is awake. Nigerians right now are willing to take the bull by the horns. They are willing right now to demand that change. It is not a question of disbanding SARS anymore. It is not a question of insulting Nigerians to immediately replace SARS with what? Waiting on they look for. Is there something you are benefiting from these structures? Why do we have police? Why can't people reform the police? Why can't you increase the salary of the average policeman? Why can't you peg it and say that the Nigerian police, the minimum wage to serve Nigerian police is 100,000 naira, even though it's not enough, but we can manage that. Why don't you start with that? A proper reform. Yet right now, our people are seeing police, some of them are killing policemen that are supposed to be serving us. All these ills, they are not being perpetrated by the police. Because there's a remote factor in all of this. You go to the police barracks, it's nothing to write home about all across the nation. Nothing to write home about. Human beings live in this barracks for crying out loud. You go there, there is nobody living in a dignified life. You can't even breathe in some of the police stations. Human beings live there. Government, you created that. They have families, they have children. And yet, people cannot live their full measure of happiness. And then you expect them to do the work they ought to do and do it properly without making any excuses for whatever ills police are doing. But I'm trying to say that what have we given to the policemen to become real policemen? To serve the interest of the people and serve it righteously. What have we done as a nation? What have we done? You bring out a budget. Our health infrastructures are there nowhere. Doctors are going on strike on a daily basis. Nigerians are dying. And yet, the Ministry of Health will not have anything reasonable from the budget. The same year we have billions you will budget for your refreshment. The same year we budget hundreds of millions to change things in the office. The same thing that attracted the same budget the previous year and the previous year and the previous year. I make bold to say that the corruption level in this administration of Buhari is killing Nigerians. It's killing Nigerians. All of a sudden, you came with a policy of repatriating Abacha loot, and that you are feeding people here, you are feeding children here and there. We do not have records of the people you are feeding. And we ask ourselves, what kind of policy is this? Who does this? Even in pandemic, children at home, and you are giving us figures of how much billions you have spent feeding people, providing palliatives. I'm from Edo State. I look around Edo State. I ask questions. I can't even count somebody who says he benefited from any palliative. What kind of policy of corruption is that? What kind of policy of corruption is that? What kind of policy of corruption is that? This whole protest has transcended NSAS. The protest you see today is now about the life of Nigeria as a nation. It's not about the policy of governance. It's not about the application of the policies of governance. It's about the corruption level that we see already in government. This protest right now, for those who would hear, one of the cures to this protest right now is for the Nigerian government to quickly call for the restructuring of the entire nation. Every aspect of this nation. Because there is no way that Delta State will be an oil-producing state, and yet the land where the oil is taken from, the people are living from their hand to mouth. Let everybody hold on to their natural resources. Let it be used for the place where it is gotten from. They've all lost their farmlands in Delta, in Bayelsa, because we are draining oil. And yet, the dividends of this oil is not getting to them. Let everybody hold on to what they have. Let everybody hold on to what they have. Let it be used for for the land where it is taken from. Don't tell us we are one Nigeria when you are cheating us, cheating the people, siphoning money for your own private thing. You die, you leave it. Don't tell us that. The country needs to be restructured. Particularly economic restructure is most important right now. There are parts of the north that produce granules. They should be encouraged to produce granules and sustain themselves with granules. There are parts of Nigeria that produce what's it called, cocoa. They should be encouraged to go into cocoa production and sustain the entire environment with it. There are those that produce cassava. There are those that produce what's it called, palm kernel. Everybody should be encouraged to concentrate on what they do. And the only thing that can do that is the restructuring of the Nigerian system, economically, politically, and otherwise. If we do not know, by this protest right now that is ongoing, Nigeria right now needs that national discourse. We need that national discourse now, more than ever before. Because if we allow this matter to continue the way it is, time will come when it will go beyond just being a protest that is that of passive resistance to that would become real agitation, wherein some of you political leaders may have nowhere to hide your heads anymore. We do not want to bring Nigeria to its needs unnecessarily. What is needful, what is needed, what is necessary to be done right now Buhari should do the needful, resign, and let the next person call for the restructuring of Nigeria. We are not proud that Biafra, they are agitating, they want to leave. We are not proud that Oduduwa, they are agitating, they want to leave. We are not proud that Hesme has taken over parts of Nigeria. We are not proud that Boko Haram is now in charge of parts of Nigeria. And yet we have a president, we have a leader. We have some redundant service chiefs out there. They've been there since the beginning of this administration. And yet, never in our history have we had this level of insecurity. And yet they are there. The president doesn't see any need to change any of them, to rejig them, to even stay in the forefront of the fight against terrorism. Unless and until we begin to place value on human lives, on the life of every Nigerian, unless and until it matters. If any Nigerian dies, it becomes a matter, of importance to the state, to the nation. There's no way we're going to move forward. There's no way. And so, the protest is justified, the fight is necessary, and the continuity of it is inevitable. And so, if you are still there, watching what is to happen, and you are in your room, you are relaxing, you are thinking it's going to, for particularly those of you in the average class, you have a job, you feel it is finished, come out, my friend, and join the protest. Come out whenever you are, join the protest. This is a call to all of us. We have no reasons to say, no matter how comfortable we feel, it's a fight that should involve all of us. And you policemen, you are being asked to stage a wall of defense against protesters. This matter concerns you as much as it concerns every protester you see in the streets. Every one of them. So I am, in fact, as a matter of fact, I am calling on Nigerians. I'm calling on Nigerians. By the grace of God, a movement has begun. And this movement, we need to see it through. This movement must yield the desired results. The IG of police, if you cannot continue to be IG, resign from your position right now. Don't insult Nigeria by disbanding SARS and introducing SWAT. We are not interested. We are not interested. Nigerians are not interested. It's a shame that you cannot read the mind of Nigerians. Read the process right now to know what exactly you ought to do. It's a shame. It's a shame. You come out in certain environment in the diaspora, you are ashamed to say you are a Nigerian because of certain policies coming out from the leaders of the country. What kind of National Assembly do we have for crying out loud? What kind of National Assembly? What kind of lame duck National Assembly? What kind of Shushana National Assembly? What kind of Diesa National Assembly do we have for crying out loud? What kind of National Assembly? And yet, there are people who live around the premises of the Senate President and they are unable to call him to order to say, we don't like the boy you are doing. The Speaker of the what's it called, the House of Reps. It is time you call yourself to order, or Nigerians will call you to order. We are not interested. We never liked this kind of boy attitude you are having for the executive arm of the government. They come with everything and everything passes. Even to the detriment of Nigerians. Even to the detriment of Nigerians. We cannot. My heart is broken. Really, really broken. Because we have lost people in this protest. Because people are dying. People are being maimed. And I see all the antics of these leaders trying to use the youth against the youth. To try to create fragments in this whole process and make it weak. And for those who are moving around, trying to curry, what's it called, make themselves leaders of this process, still collect money from political office holders in the name of trying to, put the... Watch yourself. Watch yourself. If you do not know what the time is, we know. Many of us know what the time is. kudos to Nigerians for all you guys are doing. I want to tell you that we are with you. Many of us in diaspora, we are with you. We are with you. We are with you in every way, in every shape, in every form. This show must go on. Nigeria needs restructuring. Nigeria needs restructuring. And therefore, that is what we must aim to achieve. Personally, I don't know about you, but I think that the administration of Buhari has failed Nigerians. An administration that persistently and consistently he blamed on past administrations is a failed one. Because Nigerians knew about the past administrations. Because Nigerians knew and they wanted change. That's why they elected you. And you are still continuing blaming past administrations. I personally felt very insulted when this man came out on Independence Day and announced to say that it doesn't make sense for fear to be cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia. And nobody told him that in Saudi Arabia the minimum wage is 305,000 naira, while in Nigeria the minimum wage is 30,000 naira. Nobody reminded him of that. Nobody told him that the minimum wage in Saudi Arabia is 305,000 naira, and it's just about 168 naira per liter in Saudi Arabia. And in Nigeria, where we have a minimum wage of 30,000 naira, and some states have refused to pay, you are saying that the fuel has to be 161 naira because it doesn't make sense for it to be cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia. What a shame. What an uninformed president and those advising him. Every war today, leaders lead by data. We have a very analog president who doesn't even understand the meaning of data. People lead by data. People govern by data. They look at the number of people they govern. They look at what is existed everywhere. They look at the circumstances within where they live and where they govern, and try to balance things. Somebody you pay 30,000 naira, you are asking the person to be buying fuel for 161 naira, and you are comparing yourself to the one who is paying 305,000 naira and asking his own citizen to be buying fuel at 168 naira. What a shame if you do that, man. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Many of you are there. You may not want to speak out. I will speak out. Buhari has no business being president. The problem of Nigeria today, amongst every other thing, is that we have a president who is so inept, a president who doesn't know what time it is, a president who is so nepotistic. Look at all the appointments being made. They are not made on merit. They are made because they are my town. He's his taskman, he's his friend, he's his friend's friend, and they are not delivering anything. They are not. The most uninformed president we have ever had. The right thing for Nigeria to do right now is to demand that President Buhari honorably resigns and leave. Let Nigeria right now begin to think of what to do. Buhari is not alone in this. All of you sycophants, presidents, all of you are all part of this lineage of wickedness that you are meeting on Nigerians, and you will not be forgiven. For Nigerian people, we have a right to protest. We have a right to demand. We have a right to demand that we want changes in the things, in the affairs of Nigeria. This country can no longer hold together the way it is. It cannot. That is why we need to discuss. We need to discuss. Because as a matter of fact, indigenously, we have never had portion to discuss the terms of our togetherness as a people. We have never had one. It is time for Nigerians to decide how they want to be governed. We have said that we are practicing a federal system of government. We cannot be practicing federal system of government and not be practicing federal system of government. Everything in this country right now needs restructuring. Economically, we need restructuring. Because right now, the people right now who are feeling the brunt of this whole thing are the people from which land we are getting the crude oil. You need to go to Niger Delta and see how the children of the people of Niger Delta are suffering. The areas where they take this crude from, they no longer have farmlands. And nobody is listening. Nobody's attending to their needs. Nobody. And at the end of the day, what you hear is $12 billion missing from NNPC. $5 billion missing from NNPC Treasury. That's what you hear. It vanishes under Buhari. And Buhari is directly in charge of NNPC. Come on. Who is fooling who? And you talk about integrity? Nigerian people, I came out this evening with vehemence because I am angry. I know many of you are. And I want to say kudos to everybody right now on ground. You are heroes. You are heroes. You are heroes. You are true defenders of the nation. Thank you so much. There are names I have in my head. I don't want to mention names right now because, you know, what we are doing right now is a matter that is all embracing. And I want to encourage Nigerians in diaspora. There's so much we can do to ensure that the oil of those in the street right now, that their oil do not run dry. There's so much we can do. And I appeal to us, get to that point where you can do something, even as quietly as you possibly can. Do. Support 5 persons to be in the street. Support 10 persons to be in the streets. We need to passively resist this injustice that is tearing down the fabric of our nation. That is tearing down the entire structure of the nation of Nigeria. Okay. This second part, I want to address Nigerians in Spain. I did get a petition some couple of weeks ago that Nigeria embassy in Spain was, telling people that there's no booklet, and that for passports, and that if people they can stay 6 months before they get passports, and if they pay 300 naira, booklet will suddenly surface. And I said I was going to look into that matter, which I did. As a matter of fact, earlier today, I did speak with the head of immigration in Nigerian embassy in Spain. And he gave me all that I needed to know. He told me that, yes, of a truth, that the embassy, because of COVID-19, had no booklets, but in the last 2 weeks, they received some booklets. And since the last 2 weeks, they've been clearing the backlog of passports and all that they've issued, and they even sent by MRW to people's, houses and all of that, So right now, they have cleared the backlog until September. And as a matter of fact, with what they already have, the passport booklets they have, may run out in a matter of, a couple of weeks, as it were. But they have already placed order, for Nigeria, for the Nigerian Immigration Service to send them more booklets and all that, so they can continue issuing passports. Now, on the issue of the money, the man said, I'm quoting the head of immigration in the Nigerian embassy, he said that the embassy, as a matter of fact, is not charging administrative, charges for anything passports. So all you need to do as a Nigerian living in Spain or anywhere in the world who wants to get their Nigerian passport done, all you need to do is to just just pay online and show proof of your payment, take an appointment at the embassy, go to the embassy on the date you are giving and go and get scanned. And that he did say that he does not know if some other human beings are serving as intermediaries and they are the ones extorting people. He cannot make any excuses, but officially from the embassy does not charge a dime. So for those of you who have come with a complaint that they are collecting 300 euro from you, okay, from this table, I want to advise. One of the ways we can do it, okay? Because we need, I've spoken to the embassy, authorities. One of the ways, the things you can do is that go to the embassy and speak. Please, if you are there, share this broadcast. I want Nigerians in Spain to see this, to hear this. Go to the embassy. If you want to do your passport, all those channels through which they want to collect money from you and not extort you and all of that, and you are sure that is happening, please find a way to have a tape recorder and record your conversation with them. Record the name. Let the name of the person be mentioned and the office the person is holding in the embassy. If you have that evidence, send it to us on the Comrade Show. That's all we need. Get some more vivid evidence. Because right now we can authoritatively, the Comrade Show can authoritatively let Nigerians in Spain know that officially at the level of the embassy doesn't even charge administrative charge for passports. What they have told me clearly is go and pay online. After making payment online, take appointments from the embassy website, come to the embassy on the day of your appointment, and get yourself scanned. If it is for renewal, get yourself renewed. You don't have to patronize anybody unofficially. If you do that, that will be your own business. This is why I'm appealing. If you are in Spain, share the broadcast, let everybody hear. Because as a matter of, urgent national importance, because we are saying that things have to change. They are not just going to change in some aspect and not change in other aspects. We want every Nigerian embassy across the world to ensure that they set themselves right. We cannot have this issue, these problems with injustice, corruption, everything in Nigeria, and we still have them in places where we ought to be upright. So I spoke with the authority of the Nigerian embassy in Spain today, and they have made it very clear that anybody, if you have evidence, send it forth so that such person will be used as an example. And if you are a staff of the Nigerian embassy in Spain and you are involved in racketeering, you know that your days are numbered. Very soon, you will be found out. Very soon. So Nigerians in Spain, if you want to do your passport, go and pay online. Go to the embassy, go and scam. Anybody asking you money, please do this as a favor so that somebody can be used as an example. And that will serve as a deterrent. Record the conversation secretly. Put another phone. Just go and download a voice recorder on a phone. Put it in your pocket. Have a conversation with whoever is charging, asking you to bring 300 euro to come and do passports. Ensure you have the person's name, probably the person's office. Have the conversation recorded. Send it to us on the Comrade Show. Believe me, we will do the best that we can to ensure that that matter, we deal with it ruthlessly. And any embassy in the world where we have all this kinds of injustice here and there, corruption, exploitation, as it were, please do same. By the grace of God, we will talk about it, we will announce it, we will get to wherever it needs to get to. But for this on the part of Spain, we can report to you authoritatively that the Spanish embassy, from the words of the head of the immigration, who is in charge of passports in the Spanish embassy, he has said the embassy is not collecting a dime. As a matter of fact, there used to be administrative charge for passports before he came. But when he came, he stopped it. And so let us be aware. Let's be aware. Because knowledge is power. Some of us, because the news that came, they said, no passport, if you pay 300 euro, passport will suddenly come. That is not true. Officially, the embassy is not collecting money. So if you have given money to somebody, as a matter of fact, if you have done your passport and you are giving 300 euro to somebody, go and collect your money. play my video right now to the person that I'm instructing you to come and collect your money back. If the person does not give you your money, let us know the name of the person and what department the person is in the embassy, so that we can quickly move, swing into action to ensure that you get your money and that person will get the desired penalty that follows such kind of wickedness. If we are calling change in Nigeria, we are calling change everywhere else. We have Nigerians, including Nigerian missions and high commissions and embassies and everywhere all across the world. We cannot. We must set this thing right from somewhere. We cannot live like this continually. We cannot. I see citizens of other nations, how proud they are of where they are from, because these are upright. How can we not just get some simple things right? How can we not? Today we are calling on Buhari when at the level, at the very least level, we are corrupt all through. We have a right to call on Buhari now, call on the governors, call on this thing. But leave all these politicians. Let us come to our own level. Even the people who are protesting right now. Some of them are already trying to collect money from politicians to fragmentize the process. You go to Nigerian embassy will set an official arrangement. The people we clandestinely move around it. I begin to exploit the people. I beg my people, if you hear me, if you dey Spain or anywhere, wait till they know they pay for. You don't pay for passport at the embassy. The embassy know they charge money. I beg. Somewhere they ask you money. Find phone with the record, press record, put it for your pocket, go negotiate with the person. Make sure say he mention his name, in department, everything. Send the phone to the message to us for the Comrade Show. Even if you don't put your name, don't worry. We will take them up. And if they don't collect money from you, the 300 when they say they collect, embassy they don't get half inside that matter. If anybody collect money from you, go ask the person may return your money back. Play this video to the person. As you play them, they ask for money, they record down. Mention the person name, mention everything. Send it back. They will return your money back to you. They will return your money back to you. Now me tell you, they will return them. The person will return them. I go see what they find. Fellow Nigerians, I want to thank you guys for staying with us at this time. This is the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Lamte Oriahi. Collectively, we have a role to play to change the narrative in our country. We have a role to play, a very huge one, to do what we have to do, and of course, set things right. It's got to be right. Nobody go do it for us. Now we go do it for ourselves. Okay? So that is why there are people who do they wear that cloth to make that sacrifice. We got to continue to make that sacrifice. We go make it for money. We make it for night until Nigeria becomes a better place for all of us. What we are doing here, what do we do for here? Now to just make sure say, at least, if you mention Nigeria, small respect go still there. Shame not going to catch any of us. Because what we have is not good at all. It's not. Well, respect my brothers and my sisters for staying with us. For my brothers and my sisters, the comrades in Nigeria, for the protest, thank you so much. You're all heroes. Much respect for you guys. May God bless you. May God strengthen you. Whatever we can do to support and energize you guys, all we can say right now is that there should be no violence. The destruction of vehicles and properties, please let us avoid it. Let us keep blocking the roads. There should be no movement to and fro. Let us passively resist. Passively resist. It is time to demand, as we are demanding right now, the liberation of Nigeria. And that liberation, we are the ones who can give it to ourselves. I thank you very much. I thank you very much. You are all freedom fighters. You are all heroes. May God bless you all. And may God bless everyone who's been part of this process. Thank you. This is the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Lamte Oriahi. Signing off.